And then you have
shooters to get into the hands of Steph Curry. Klay Thompson, a long three.
Ah, man, Klay Thompson, bro. My least favorite player on the Warriors.
Lil red, ego big, little legs, skinny kid with plenty.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's ZTAY, aka Lil Red. We got What Happened to the Golden State Warriors by DoubleDworth's. So yeah, before we get into this, we all know the Warriors been struggling this season so far. I mean, the Lakers have too. This video is not about the Lakers. Okay? Let's not even get into that. We know, okay? My team's not doing good, okay? Neither's yours. Listen, they lost to the Magic, the Hornets without LaMelo, the Pistons, and the Heat. I know you say the Curry foul, but I want to see what DoubleDworth's got to say about this because he's one of the biggest Warriors fans there is. So yeah, let's get into the reaction.
And they're right there.
what the what? That is.
See, that's what I was gonna say. I remember Draymond doing that play right here. That man, everybody says he's the best defender in the league. Remember people talking about that? That's crazy.
Not ideal. If you've been out of the loop recently, you may not know what's going on with the Golden State Warriors, but to be fair, even people that are keeping up with the NBA have no idea what's going on with this team. They are even leaving me, the unofficial Warriors guy, quote unquote, in shambles because there's just no way that this team should be performing this terribly.
Damn, so it's not even just me thinking that you guys are trash.
And yet they are. And it's not just one problem. It's a combination of multiple things that have led us to the point where we are now. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about the roster changes, the effort on both defense and offense, and we're going to be talking about Steph and Curry, because of course we are.
Whoa, so you're saying Steph Curry's the problem? I don't know.
So I want to get one thing straight. I may have had some moments where I just flat out said, oh, this team is bad, this roster's not good, things like that. Those were in the moment, and I no longer think that this is a true representation of what this team actually is.
Yeah, because you guys have a good roster, I'm not going to lie. You have a good roster. Look at this. Draymond, Klay, Wiggins. You don't have Porter no more, but yeah.
Because I went and rewatched some of the opening night vlog, and then after rewatched some of the actual game, and it's almost like I'm watching a different team. Everything about that game was completely normal Warriors basketball.
It's because he played the Lakers. to be honest, that's why. Because we're trash, okay? My Lakers are worse than you guys. So that's what made you guys look normal.
The Warriors looked great that night, apart from some runs that they had given up towards the end of the game. But fast forward to where they are now, and it's almost unbelievable that this is now the situation that they're in.
Are the Magic better than the Lakers? That's tough.
And keep in mind that this is a team that a lot of people thought would repeat coming into the season. Let's just say that a lot of those people have now changed their minds, and for good reason. But to understand why this has happened all of a sudden, we need to examine every problem that is currently plaguing this team.
Okay.
Let's start with the defense, because that is first and foremost. But
yeah, because 122 points to the Orlando Magic. Nope. That should not be happening.
this is a multi-level issue. I sort of explained this on a recent live stream I did just after the game against the Orlando Magic. It's not even turnovers anymore, it's just the defense. It is turnovers too, to an extent, but the problem with that is that in the past, last season, our defense would be good enough to justify all the turnovers because we consistently average the most turnovers in the league. We average something like 15 a game, and that's just a byproduct of the offense that we run. But the thing that would counterbalance it would be our defense. But now, when you have those turnovers and your transition defense sucks, that's how you give up 130 points a game. Hold on. I could be wrong. I think we're currently last in the league right now in points allowed. We are yeah, we're last.
And that's crazy because you have Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Looney, and Klay Thompson, who are supposedly all good defenders. How are you last in the league? It doesn't make sense. Honestly, I don't think Klay is that two-way defender that people say he is no more. And Draymond, I don't know what's going on. He's getting exposed. His Wiggins never as good as people say.
We're currently last in the league in points allowed at 122 a game. So that's an overview of the situation. The Warriors are giving up their usual amount of turnovers at around 16 per game, but they also have one of the worst defenses in the entire league. And when I say that, I mean it. They have been historically bad so far this season. To put it into perspective, the Warriors are currently giving up over 121 points per game, meaning that they are currently one of 26 teams in league history to give up 120 points or more per game.
Yeah, you could say that sounds really bad, but also where the game is going right now, that's like kind of normal, bro. I feel like everybody's about to be giving that up soon, to be honest. Like, defense isn't like how it used to be no more.
26, and they're currently 11th all time in most points allowed. Now, I understand that this list is constantly changing, and they may not even be there a week from now. But the fact that they're even on this list to begin with is insane to me, and it's unfathomable for a defending champion that still has the same core from that championship run.
Yeah, but were the Warriors really that good at defense last year?
It's becoming clear that the losses of both Gary Payton II and Otto Porter Jr. might have been a lot more significant than some of us had originally thought.
Hey, bro, there's a reason I said Gary Payton Jr. was my favorite player on the Warriors last year. He was my favorite player on the Warriors last year. He did so much that you guys don't know that he did. And Otto Porter got all your rebounds, to be honest.
Because they were bench players, and the main undisputable problem so far has been the bench. The starters are doing just fine. They are actually the league leader in plus minus for any 5-man lineup at plus 60, so they're doing great. The bench, however, has a cumulative plus minus of minus 3.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. What?
175, which is by far the worst bench in the league.
Why? You have Jordan Poole and Moody and Wiseman and Kuminga. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't even make sense to me, bro.
Not necessarily a single person that you can even definitively point to as the main problem. However, if you were to do that, it would probably be James Wiseman. He hasn't been doing great to start the season after looking so promising in Summer League and the preseason. He just does not look comfortable on the floor. And it's not just on defense either. There have been a lot of times where he could have had a dunk or an easy layup right in front of him, but he just can't catch the ball or just doesn't jump for a lob when they throw it that direction.
That's tough. Hey, I was saying in preseason that he looked bad on defense. Or not, yeah, the summer, whatever. Remember the London games I was reacting? I think, no, not London. Japan. I said his defense don't look good, but his offense did. But now they're saying his offense don't even look good. Probably because he's scared.
And it just looks like he doesn't even really know what he's doing out there. I haven't given up on him just yet, but I'm becoming more understanding of the people that are, because at this point, he just seems like a project that we might not have the time for. So
that's crazy. He's a top 3 pick and you guys are saying a project.
Again, I'm not completely giving up on him, but it's not looking good. And then there's Then you have Jordan Poole, who hasn't been great to start the season apart from a couple games where he just happened to heat up for a quarter or two. He's currently averaging just over 16 points a game, barely over 40% from the field, barely over 30% from 3, and he's been turning the ball over a lot.
Hey bro, 30% from 3, you better be grateful for that because, you know, as a Lakers fan, we don't really get that often. I would love a 30% shooter from 3, to be honest. Also, how many minutes is Jordan Poole getting? Because I love Jordan Poole, I'm not gonna lie. He's one of my favorite players on the Warriors, and I feel like he's kind of the scapegoat right now. Maybe I'm wrong though.
Especially the last few games. And not on bad passes or anything like that. He literally has just forgotten how to dribble. And some people might say, oh, it's just because the NBA is cracking down on carrying right now. But some of these carries are so egregious that they would be getting called either way.
No, bro. Okay, this is something. Jordan Poole, you guys know from our reactions, he literally has been traveling for 2 years. He travels every game. They never call it, but I think there's somebody, you know how they said they're going to crack down on carrying? Somebody got mad watching the Warriors and Jordan Poole. Somebody up there. Somebody. There's a hater on Jordan Poole, and they told the refs that you need to stop this. All right?
which is insane given how little officials actually care about calling it in 2022. Like this would be getting called regardless even if they weren't making it an emphasis right now. It's just been really bad.
See, that one was a carry, but the other two where he was just doing the overhand, he's been doing that for 2 years and they never called it.
Especially considering the fact that he just signed a contract extension worth $128 million. However, I do still have faith in him turning it around because we all know who he is, and he still has had his moments being the player that we expected after he signed that extension. So I'm not too worried about him, but it hasn't been ideal. And then you have...
They get into the hands of Steph Curry. Klay Thompson, a long three.
Ah, man, Klay Thompson, bro. My least favorite player on the Warriors. He takes them. I don't know who he thinks he is. He's still living in 2015. Look at Curry's body language. He's still living in 2015. You're not that good no more, Klay. You don't have to shoot it every single time. This is not that Kings game where you went crazy.
For the tie, way off. It's the side of a back.
You have Klay Thompson, and this one really hurts my heart because I love Klay. Made clear by
not the music, bro.
A 26-minute documentary that I made about his return. Go watch that if you haven't seen it, by the way. But this one hurts me because we all know that he's better than this, but he just hasn't been playing well. A lot of that could be due to the fact that he didn't play basketball for a large portion of the offseason, with him citing PTSD as the reason, because we need to remember he tore his Achilles in the offseason during a random pickup game. So I can understand where he's coming from. Something like that happens, you'd rather just try to avoid the situation that caused it. But that break has costed him at the start of this year because he just looks like he's been out of it. The team has...
Bro, he looked like that last season too, to be honest, bro. I'm not gonna lie, Klay Thompson doesn't look the same. He hasn't looked the same since the injury. Not saying he's bad, he's still a really good player, smart player, but he hasn't looked the same since the injury.
Has been steadily ramping his conditioning back up with decreasing minute restrictions, and as of right now I actually don't think he has any active minute restrictions anymore, as he did play 34 minutes in Orlando, which is around his usual amount, and that was by far his best game of the season. However, it still seems as though he's trying to make up for 2.5 years worth of shot attempts, and
bro, he's playing like he's rookie Klay. Like, first year Klay. You guys remember that? He just literally had horrible shot selection.
I understand the shooter that Klay Thompson is, but some of these shots should just never be taken by anyone. I don't care if it's Stephen Curry taking it. For example, this double contested
yeah, but the thing is, Klay Thompson thinks he's better shooter than Steph Curry.
corner three in Miami, which was ultimately the nail in the coffin for that game. He's also looked a step slow on defense, which could possibly be attributed to his conditioning, but he hasn't looked great up until the Orlando game. However, that is a promising sign and a signal that he has been getting back to his usual self, and so I think we're just gonna have to wait and see, although I'm not too worried about him moving forward.
See, that's what I'm saying, bro. The injury has slowed him down defensively. That's where it affects him the most. He's not the same defensively. He's still good at defense, but he's not the same. Shooting wise, he shoots too much and his ego's so inflated because they won the championship last year, because he thinks it's because of him.
I am, however, slightly worried about someone you might not think to be worried about, and that's Stephen Curry. But I'm not worried because he's been playing bad or anything like that. I'm actually worried about the opposite, because with all those issues, he's been playing like an MVP candidate. However, he's doing it in losing efforts, and my concern is that he's having to play this hard to keep this team afloat in games that they should be winning by blowout margins. This isn't like the season he had 2 years ago where it's necessary for them to win games, because this isn't. He shouldn't be needing to play like this for a team like this to barely beat the Sacramento Kings, barely pull away from the Miami Heat at the end of a game given how bad they've been playing, and lose to 5 teams that will likely be tanking by the midway point of the season. Again, he has been playing great, but he shouldn't need to be playing like this just to win games, and they aren't even doing that. Part of the reason this team was so feared last season was because even though he may not have been playing well some games, they would still get away with wins because they had the depth and the defense to counterbalance it on nights where he couldn't hit a shot, and we all know how many of those games he had.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, the unbiased talking. But to be honest, I feel like Curry always kind of carried the Warriors, and I said this the first game of the season. Without Steph Curry, the Warriors would not be good. They wouldn't even make the playoffs, bro.
he no longer has that cushion. It almost feels like we're back to 2021, where he needs to put up 30 points for them to even have a chance to win. And that, quite frankly, is unacceptable given the roster that they have. And so that's why I feel a little bit worried about how hard he's actually having to play right now. But with all that being said, it is still early, and there have been signs of improvement every game. So this is where they are at the 10 game mark. We will see where they are at the 25 or 30 game mark, because then we might have a pretty decent idea of the actual identity of this team. But for now, I want to know what you guys think. Are you worried about this team? And if so, how much? And do you think that this start is a sign of things to come, or just a bump in the road?
Alright, this is what I think, to be honest. As an unbiased person talking, because I don't hate the Warriors, but I don't like the Warriors. Alright? Klay Thompson needs to deflate his ego. He's not as good as he was in 2015. He's not bad. He's solid. He's still a good player, but he needs to stop shooting so many threes, bro. I know that's what you do, but like, even just the fact that he got so mad over Ronnie 2K that his rating wasn't that good just proves my point about the whole inflated ego. Andrew Wiggins, I'm not mad at Andrew Wiggins. He's low-key your second best player right now. Jordan Poole needs to start playing better. And when I say that, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, maybe it's because of the contract situation. He got his thing. He could chill out now. What do you guys think? You think it's because of that? Draymond always Draymond. Wiseman. He's not a project. He's a top 3 draft pick. Alright? I don't know what it is. I think it's just because the system you guys play in, it's not easy for big men to play in the system. There's a reason the Warriors never have good big men, bro. Think about it. Never. What was you got who? You could say Looney. He's good in the system, but he's not a good center. I'm not saying he's a bad center, but he's not an elite center. Who's the last good center you had? You had Bogut, like David Lee, power forward, whatever. Zaza Pachulia. You don't ever have good centers because it's hard to play center for the Golden State Warriors. They run too much. They're too fast. But let me know what you guys think. We're going to finish this video out with Double D.
Let me know what you think. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell to be notified when I upload. Comment down below what you want to see next. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Alright, y'all. If you guys enjoyed the reaction, hit that like button. If you guys are new, hit that subscribe button. Help the algorithm out because we've been kind of stuck in that 1,000 subscriber range for a year now. I'm trying to get to 2K. We're almost there. We're almost at 1,800 right now. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. More to come. This ZTAY.